All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the TR Schools TV Game of the Week presented by the TREA. I'm Casey Kinnerkowski alongside Greg Mazza. We've got the second half about ready to start between the visiting Pinelands Wildcats and the Toms River East Raiders. Raiders up 7-0. What'd you like from that first half, Greg?
I like the way that Toms River East's defense has been in this game. They've been able to stop the run. They're getting good secondary play, something that's been a struggle for Toms River East the first 2 weeks of the season. So far, it's been good in this game, and let's see if they can hold up here in the second half.
As Borden runs back inside his 15 to corral it, and he gets up to about the 25-yard line. So we saw coming out of that halftime, just Toms River East very impressed by that energy that they had. A little buzz around this after that first half.
Toms River East played like a more hungry team in that first half, and Pinelands, they just looked like they weren't really on track with each other. They didn't look on the same page. Ryan Allen just really looked off target with a lot of his throws, and he just couldn't find ways to make plays. But we're going to really see what the adjustment is going to look like for Pinelands' offense, because they need to get going in this game in order for them to win this game.
As we start, first and 10, 26-yard line. As we get a flag here, false start against Pinelands. So not the way you want to start the second half if you're the Wildcats.
I think if you're Pinelands as well, when you look at what the score is of this game, you kind of can say to yourself, this game could be a lot worse than what it was. But you're still in a 7-0 game. You still have a chance to win this football game.
Yeah, very fortunate. I mean, we talk about East here many times. They were getting great field position, but couldn't capitalize on it. So maybe you're right there, Pinelands. Let's see, that second half starts with offense, very potent offense when it gets going. So first and 15 now after the false start penalty. Quick pass. That time all over it was Consuelo, and you said that change that Coach Sandberg made midweek here paying off dividends here.
And Colin Consuelo has had a nice game in this game. Kyle Sandberg called him earlier in the week and said that you're going to be starting as the corner, as the defensive back for our team. And so far in this game, defensively, he has been very good, and he has gotten the job done in this game.
That time Rucky, no real chance here to block as he just got around it, creates the negative play. And really, that's another story of the night, is that Pineland's been playing well behind the chains a lot.
Yeah, Consuelo's done a very good job of reading those screen passes very well in this game. I think that's the second time that he has done that in this game, and he's done that all night long as well in terms of trying to get pressure with those screen passes and taking them away.
As the Wildcats go at a two-wide look, blocking back there is Gordon. Parkinson right and back in that pistol. As they roll out, looking to his right, looking back, going deep here, trying to get the deep bomb, and it's caught inside the 35-yard line. That time that was number 6 here, Mike Frawley. It was Consuelo on the coverage as he looked up trying to find it. Couldn't get it though before the connection is made, and that's just what Allen and company needed.
Man, what a desperate play that Pinelands needed in this game, and it's the start of the second half, the beginning of the second half. They went going up against Consuelo, and Mike Frawley makes a nice turnaround catch to get into Toms River East's territory. Ryan Allen does a very good job of rolling out to his right so he can buy him some time, and he was able to make that throw. Just a good play on both ends, a good throw also there by Ryan Allen.
And so Allen and company setting up at the 31-yard line, hand off to Parkinson, bounces back, and that was a mistake as East all over him. Everybody coming in there, Rush is in there, Williams in there, Buckman, they were not going to let him go.
And that's been something that's been very good so far. That's been very good in this game for Toms River East. Their run defense has been very good, and they had a big loss on that drive for Pinelands. And if there's one player that needs to step up for Pinelands, it's going to have to be Parkinson, because they have to get the running game going in this game. You cannot rely on your offense to try to get big play after big play. You're going to eventually get one of those, but you can't get it every single play. That's why the running game needs to get going for Pinelands, and Parkinson is one of them.
So loss of 7 on first down. Hand off to Parkinson going north-south. This one much better, but boy, he was roped in pretty quickly by the interior of that East defense. Gets back to the 35, setting up a 3rd down and long for the Wildcats.
And this is why Toms River East's defense has been very successful in this game, is because they're forcing Pinelands. They've been doing a very good job on 1st and 2nd down, where they're forcing Pinelands to get themselves into a lot of 3rd and longs and a lot of 4th and longs in this game, where they have not been able to convert.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 14. Raider 35. Trip set up top, 3 wide receivers. Parkinson in the backfield, and he motions out. They try to get a quick swing pass. Phillips was there quickly. Ball on the ground. East football, if they could get it. And they do. So Toms River East with their 2nd big turnover created. And the crowd, I think, speaks for itself, Greg. They are into this one.
That's right. Another forced turnover by Toms River East. They've created now 2 in this game and are winning the turnover battle in this game. That has been a big difference in this game. And another thing I can also say as well is that Pinelands also needs to get better special teams play as well, because numerous of times in this game, Toms River East has been getting very good field position.
Fumble there as Parkinson trying to get that screen play. Working a swing screen out in the flat. Phillips was there early. Didn't see who knocked it out. But East is going to, again, avert what could have been a potential scoring drive for Pinelands as they were trying to go down and tie it up. And start a drive of their own, playing from ahead, something they're not familiar with, as any East fan knows. Hines back to throw, looking to his right, trying to get Consuelo, deep post, and he kicked it, and he got it at the same time. So makes a play on the defensive end, now a big play there by Consuelo into Pinelands territory.
We've been calling Consuelo's name a lot tonight, and right there he makes a nice play, nice catch there to get into Pinelands' territory. And speaking of what you were saying before about Toms River East playing with a lead, that's what they need to do more, because if they can do that more, it really opens up the playbook more for Kyle Sandberg playing with a lead, and it's going to get them more in their comfort zone on what they want to do offensively. And right there, you're seeing a little bit of aggressiveness there by their offense, something we don't see a lot from them.
Absolutely not. 15-yard gain in the Pinelands territory. 1st and 10 Raiders at the Wildcats' 48-yard line. As Amari Phillips in the backfield as the backer. Ball on the ground, and that time Smart to just jump on it there with Scala. Loss on the play, but no turnover, which is bigger.
That's right, and a smart senior play there by Joe Scala to just jump on that ball and not try to pick it up and run with it, because if you do that, there could be a lot of dangerous times that can happen with that. So a good job just jumping on that ball. I gotta tell you though, if Toms River East comes out with a victory in this game, how crazy is Raider Nation gonna go?
Oh, they're gonna go, I gotta tell you. I got a feeling they got a lot of fun here in the second half.
Haven't won a game in over a calendar year, so you know at home they're gonna be looking for a win.
Loss of 6 on that muffled snap. And so now we'll spread them out. 4-wide look. As the motion force back in. That time, again, just a little bit of timing off there as that snap came quick to Pines and quickly in there number 4 Hall to break it up.
Yeah, you know, Mike Hall, he's always going to make an impact on the line, whether it's in the run game or in the passing game. And right there, just another slow developing play by Toms River East's offense, which allows Mike Hall to give him time to come up and make a play on Brandon Pines, the quarterback.
So after the Pinelands turnover, East had a big play again in the Pinelands territory. Last 2 have been in the wrong direction. 3rd and long coming up here, already halfway gone by in this 3rd quarter. East up 7-0. Rolling to his right is Pines. He looks, he drops it to Scala. Scala bulldozing his way closer towards the 40-yard line. This creates a potential go-for-it opportunity for Toms River East. And it's Instead, we're going to get a hold against Tom's East along the line, so that'll push it back even further. Could have been an interesting play there, though, for Scala after a penalty. He got the last 5 or 6 yards by himself.
And they had a nice hook up there to Joe Scala on that play, and if they were going to get a 4th and short, according to the analytics, most of the time you're going to go for that, but something that Toms River East doesn't get there, they get moved back because of a PI call.
So penalty pushes back to their own 29-yard line. They have to get all the way up to the 38-yard line behind them. 3rd down and forever. Scala and Phillips in the backfield. A little reverse. Little zippity-doo-dah there as he gets up to the 31-yard line. Only 2-yard gain. And Bruno will come on a punt.
With a lead right now for Toms River East, I think if Kyle Sammer plays a little conservative, I think it's going to be okay, because with the way that this defense has been playing for Toms River East, I think they're going to have to rely on it in this second half to win this game.
Absolutely. We got some scores coming up around the shore in a little while. After this punt as Bruno kicks it high and overhead across midfield. Bounces, takes an east sideways bounce inside the 40-yard line. Will be down at the 36. As we were looking at some of the scores there, the 5-6 matchup between Donovan Catholic and Manalapan, a 28-0 lead right now for the Griffins. How are you impressed by that?
Very surprising, because I really thought that was going to be a competitive, close game between Manalapan and Donovan Catholic. Last week, Manalapan played Middletown South really well. They only lost that game by 3 points, and Middletown South is the number 3 team in the short conference. Now they're going up against the number 5 team in Donovan Catholic, and they're really having a struggle in that game.
The other score we're seeing is a 14-3 lead for Middletown North over Lacey. As back to the action after that punt, 4:46 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Allen goes back to work, rolls to his right, and he's going to decide to take off. Virtually nothing in one. So short pickup.
I got to tell you, Casey, I've been really impressed tonight with Toms River East's secondary, because they only, outside of that big play to begin the second half for Toms River East, their secondary has been great. When you look at the way that Casuelio has been playing his first start this year as a corner, and the way that Brian Schneider has been playing as well.
As Parkinson takes it to the middle, Joe Rome slams him back to the turf, no gain.
Joe Rome, haven't heard his name much tonight, but he is one of those key players on this team for Toms River East. Right there, he comes up with a nice big play.
This feels like, Greg, tonight they're flying more to the football.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, when we look at Pinelands tonight, they just have not been able to get the running game going. They really have not been able to get Ryan Allen in sick. And I said the key for Pinelands tonight was going to be the running game, because if they were going to be able to get the running game going, that was going to be able to open up the playbook. And I thought it would help Ryan Allen a lot more in terms of the passing game and in the running game as well, doing it his own with his legs.
3rd down, slant, incomplete. He was trying to get to his target up there. There's Frawley again, incomplete. And so they'll bring up a punt for Pinelands here with 3:11 remaining in this 3rd quarter. A quick moving 3rd quarter here at Dvorak Field.
And what we haven't seen a lot tonight from Pinelands' wide receivers is they have not been able to get separation there. Mike Frawley gets some separation in terms of the coverage that Toms River East was playing there, and he just was not been able to make that catch. Something that Pinelands has not been able to do tonight is execute, and that's one of those plays right there. They have not been able to execute, which has been big tonight for them.
That one almost blocked. He gets it off, though. It takes a fantastic roll down at about the 25-yard line. So moments away from being blocked, gets it off, flips the field here, and now the Raiders, again, up by 7, trying to extend this lead.
I think if you're Pinelands, you need a forced turnover to get yourself going, because they had the big play offensively in the second half, but other than that, they just have not been able to find ways to score or move the ball down offensively. So I think in a position where you are right now, Toms River East is in their own territory. I think this would be a good time for Pinelands to create a turnover right here.
I mean, you got to figure, Greg, too, it's getting late early here. Already under 3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. If you're Pinelands, you may only get 2 or 3 more cracks at the football.
And the way this has been going for Pinelands, it just seems that the way that they've been playing in this game, that Toms River East is up by 3 scores and it's a blowout. It's still a 7-0 game. You are still in this game. You've just got to find a way to make plays offensively and try to create a turnover defensively.
Handoff Phillips as he stretches it out to the right side, gets it a clear, breaks a tackle, 50, one guy to beat, 40, 30, still going inside the 20-yard line, and so Amari Phillips enlightens the crowd yet again with a big run for the Raiders.
And just like that, Amari Phillips with a big run there. Amari Phillips, the first 3 games in a year, has been great for Toms River East. Had the touchdown early in the game, and right there with a big run there to get themselves in the Pinelands' territory, and then set themselves up for another big score coming up here in the red zone.
So a 66-yard run by Phillips. That's what Greg was saying in the red zone. Up to the 15, well over 100 yards now rushing for Phillips. As his brother will spell him here on his 1st and 10 for Pinelands' 15-yard line. Hines hands off, weak side. That's Avery Phillips. And he's going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. So just like that, one brother sets it up, the other one finishes it off. That time Avery with a touchdown scamper along the left side.
And this is why we were talking about that Toms River East needs to stick to the running game plan, because they're going to eventually get going in this game like they kind of did it in the first quarter. And right there so far to start the second half for Toms River East, the running game has really started to explode. You get the big run by Amari Phillips, and right there to cap it off with Avery Phillips, the 2 brothers getting the job done in this game.
So Raider Nation with their neon game, the confetti going up in the air. Bruno's kick up and good, and just like that, Toms River East leads 14-0 in the final minutes of this third quarter.
And if you're Toms River East, you cannot ask yourself to be in a better position than you are right now. You're up 2 scores. Your defense has been fantastic tonight, stopping the run, getting good secondary play, and all you have to do if you're Toms River East for the rest of the game is to hold them in check and keep moving the ball offensively by running the football, and keep moving those chains, and keep moving the time, and keep owning the time of possession in this game like they have all game long.
I mean, we've seen that from Amari the last couple of weeks with that explosiveness. And it's pretty sweet because he was the one that had the fumble right in the red zone last week against Manchester. Makes up for it here by setting up his brother with that, touchdown that goes up now 2 possessions.
And we talked about the miscues before the game with Toms River East on why they have not been able to win. Those miscues have hurt Toms River East the first 2 weeks of the season. And in this game, they haven't had any turnovers. They have not been able to convert a lot of penalties in this game, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball or on the defensive side of the ball. And they've just been getting a lot of positive plays in this game. And Toms River East is finding ways to move the ball and to make plays.
I think for Pinelands, how one-dimensional do you think they get with Allen and his arm?
Well, you're going to have to start getting aggressive, especially when you're down 2 scores. And we were talking about the running game. Pinelands have not been able to get all game long, and it just seems all game long Ryan Allen has not been in sync. He just has not been able to look comfortable in that pocket, running out of the pocket and running away from those East defenders. So he just has not been able to find anything to get going in this game.
As Bruno kicks it deep. This one, let's see where it goes. Oh, what a great kick by Bruno. A lot of times you see that takes a sideways hop out of bounds. It's a penalty. That one just makes its way into the end zone for a touchback.
You know, you kind of think, where's that ball going to go? Is that ball going to go in the end zone, or is that ball going to go out of bounds where it's going to be a penalty? And it goes right into the end zone there.
And the thing sets up at the 20-yard line for the Pinelands attack.
And if I'm Tom's River East, their defensive game plan needs to be to keep Pinelands underneath. Don't let up any big plays. Keep them underneath and let Ryan Allen try to keep everything underneath, because all game long he's been looking for the deep ball.
So here he goes, keeps it up the middle, and he gets some success there, gets a first down across the 30. It's a little read option to start this drive off. Gain of 11 moves the sticks.
And that's what I think Pinelands needs to do a little bit more in this game. They have to have more run design type of plays for Ryan Allen. They've been doing it a lot with his legs, running out of the pocket and trying to make it with his arm. But right there you see him do it with his legs. I think Pinelands need to do that a little bit more in this game if they want to try to come back.
About a minute remaining here in this third quarter. Down by 14 with the football now.
Sing a song for us.
Allen, they're going to get a reverse here. This one a reverse, almost a pass there. He's going to pass it. Instead keeps it down. Really nice defense by Tom Reese to avoid the big play. That time 7 rookie came in and he was trying to look to throw, had to eat it, only gets a minimal gain.
And that's what Tom's River East has been doing all night long, taking away the big play and forcing everything underneath. And as the receiver gets the ball, he's looking downfield to try to make a play. And as he sees nothing down the field, that first read is not there. He's got nowhere else to go with the ball other than running with it.
It could be the final play of this third quarter. He's second down, ball at 7. Gets that double screen. And that's how he completes it. Phillips with the tackle. That was up to Frawley again, number 6. They will move the chains, reset it with about 14 seconds.
The defensive coordinator, Dan Sasala, has called a great game in this game. I don't think you could call a better game than what you have been calling tonight if you're Dan Sasala. Great game plan defensively.
Nice job, executed well as well. As the clock runs out here on this third quarter. But it's the hometown Raiders extending their lead with another touchdown in that third frame. And they lead it now going into the final 12 minutes of action. 14-0.
Tom's River East has been playing with a lot of energy in this game. They've been playing with a lot of excitement. I talked to Joe Rome this morning. He told me they had a great week of practice, and that has definitely paid off in this game.
No doubt about it. As the energy is there, we're trying to see if there's any kind of games here. Red Bank Catholic up 21-0 in that game against number 3 Middletown South. Ocean leading Brick Memorial 21-7. Point Burrow, right at Team Towns East, going to face. They're up 27-3 against Homedale. They're just a really quality football team.
That's right. And Ocean, speaking of Ocean, we're going to be doing Tom's River South Ocean Township next week as well. Game we're going to be looking forward to doing next week.
Let's see if Coach Martin and crew can get back on the win streak here tonight against Red Bank. We haven't seen any scores updates for those games. But here on the east side of town, we've got a good one brewing for the Raiders as they lead 14-0. Pinelands with the football. So far, East pitching the shutout. Let's see if they can hold it here. Come away with their first victory of the season. Now on the throw. Looking deep. That one he connects. Ball popped out late, but it will be a catch for number 6 Rowley along the sideline into Raiders territory. So they make the bubble and they go a little further deep down the field.
Yeah, and it looked like Brian Schneider was coming up on that play. He thought that was going to be a screen pass, which he was trying to read and trying to jump that ball. And instead, Ryan Allen goes deep, and Joe Scala was late going over there. And like that, Pinelands gets a nice gain and inside Tom's River East's territory. On this drive, Pinelands has to find a way to score here.
Absolutely. Parkinson with a run around the left side. And he is met again. That time Brush spins him down with the 34.
You know, Brush is one of those players we usually don't talk about with Tom East. He's part of that linebacking core with himself and Hall. And right there he comes up, makes a nice tackle. Also played a lot as well last year as a sophomore. And coming in here as a second-year player, comes up there and makes a nice play.
Yeah, the clock running here, 11-minute mark coming up on this final quarter. A second down and 6. Back to throw. Allen looking right, looking for the slant. That one, Schnur almost tried to read on it. Almost got bitten on it as well. As Frawley had his hands on it, couldn't corral it, incomplete.
Frawley had a chance, I thought, of making that play, and I think if he makes that catch, he's going all the way there, because it looked like Brian Schnur once again tried to jump that play, and he wasn't able to come up and make the play. But Brian Schnur, I would say, for a lot of this night, he has had a really good night defensively in the secondary.
So third down and we'll call it a long 6 for the Wildcats. Rolling to his right is, or left is Allen, excuse me. Looking back, throws it up and away. As there were 2 Wildcat receivers in the same area, somebody ran the wrong route there.
And then it looked like, and this is what we've been talking about all night with Pinelands, just haven't been in sync, haven't been on the same page as a team. There's been a lot of rollouts tonight with Ryan Allen that they just have not been able to execute, and they just have not been able to find anything to get going in this game. And now it's a big 4th down coming up. You have to find a way to convert, because this could be very well the game right here with the way that Pinelands has been playing.
Yeah, really no decision. A 4th down and 6. 10:58 mark. They have to have this if they're going to have any chance to come back and try to tie or win this game. Back to throw. Allen looking left, looking middle, going deep, trying to throw Borton open, and it's incomplete. No flags and a turnover on downs. A perfect stop for the Raiders defense.
And right there, once again, that's Colin Casuelio breaking up that play. He did a very good job of breaking up that play. And Colin Casuelio, first start as a corner for the season. He has had a big game. As speaking of Casuelio, he's down on the ground, which is not good.
He's down there a 10-2.
Boy, this is not good. Casuelio has played a great game tonight defensively, getting his first start as a defensive back.
As trainer Christen makes her way out there, along with Coach Sandberg. Raider Nation taking their seats. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
It looked like after the play he was fine, and then I saw him go down, and it didn't seem like something was right with him. I'm not sure what happened, but after the play he was fine. It might have been when they were trying to celebrate. He might have hurt something.
Yeah, well, we got a moment. That RBC game now swelled to a 28-0 lead. So no doubt about who the number 1 team of the Shore is.
RBC's playing like that team all season long.
They're going to jump it on them since the beginning.
It's kind of awkward that RBC is blowing out Middletown South, a 1-seeded game versus a 3-seeded game in the Shore Conference, and then you got the other matchup, Donovan Catholic and Middletown South, number 5 versus number 6, and you thought that would be a very evenly matched game with the way that Middletown South or Manalapan played against Middletown South, and Donovan has been blowing the doors off of Manalapan.
Yeah, a good Liberty division game between Barnegat and Jackson Liberty. Barnegat up 14-0 for Liberty.
Barnegat's coming here to play Toms River East next week.
That Ocean game a little tighter now, 21-14, as we see Casuelio getting up on his own power. It's always a good thing to see. 10:46 remaining. He's with the football. Up by 14. Clock definitely their friend.
Definitely the clock is the friend for Toms River East. They have to keep this ball on the ground. If you're Tom's River East, keep it on the ground, keep pounding the football, keep moving those chains, keep moving the time, keep moving that clock.
Don't do what they just did there with a penalty.
No, absolutely not. But speaking of those penalties, that's something that Tom's River East has not had a lot of tonight. They just have to keep moving the football and not have those negative plays and not have something that's going to hurt Tom's River East in this game where it's going to get Pinelands get on track.
That Ocean game back up to a 28-14 lead. So Ocean, I know you were a team that were big on. Pretty big there. And Brick leading Neptune 7-0. So trying to get some scoring for the games around the shore. Pinelands hands off. Phillips has had a huge night, including that 66-yard run. And the last drive that set up the touchdown. It's a short game. Clock roll. There were a lot of weird things happening in football this week. The Giants won last week.
Hey, Giants are our favorite football team. Had a nice win against Tennessee last week. Game winner, obviously Saquon had a big game, the missed field goal. Hopefully they can get another win against Carolina this Sunday. That'd be nice.
Hey, it's doable, you know?
Yeah, when you look at the upcoming schedule, Dak is out for Dallas. Big loss for the Cowboys.
Sometimes it's not who you play, it's when you play.
That's right.
As that ball goes on the ground, Pines lucky to jump back on it. So those are the types of mistakes that have usually caused Townsend Maurice because they've been down or they've been tied in the game. Now with a 14-point lead, maybe a little bit of a cushion and some wiggle room for some of those errors.
Yeah, definitely a little scare there from Tom's River East's offense. That is something you do not want. You do not want one of those bad snaps where that ball is going the other way. Luckily there, Tom's River East gets right back on that ball. Smartly, Brandon Pines, as a first-year starting quarterback, gets on that ball. And if I'm Tom's River East, I'm going to keep it conservative here.
Motion, Hines back to throw. They're going deep for Consuelo, a little bit too deep and incomplete. I'm going to tell you, I agree with you, Greg. Assuming that Consuelo, that was Cummings, the receiver. Greg, I agree with you. I would think maybe you want a clock to continue to roll, and he's feeling it tonight.
Yeah, and you know they were trying to be aggressive on that play, and Pines definitely had Cummings on that play, and he was wide open and just overthrew him a little bit. But I kind of questioned the play call a little bit there. I would have played a little bit conservative and keep it on the ground, especially since you had 3rd and long there.
So a punt coming up for Bruno. He's done a very nice job tonight. They go after him. He gets it off. Good kick. Gordon fields it about the 50. Muffs it again. But fortunately for him, muffs it out of bounds. So you were talking about special teams really being an Achilles heel for Pinelands tonight.
The special teams has really hurt Pinelands in this game. They've had a lot of bad kicks in this game. They've had a lot of muffs in this game. Even those muffs, you know, it hasn't gone Tom's River East's way, but those muffs, they've had a lot of them in this game. And Pinelands, they just have not been hitting on any phase of this game. Offensively, defense, I think they've been doing a pretty solid job for the most part, but it just offensively, just trying to move the ball. I mean, they're getting good field positions like they are right now, but they just have not been able to convert. They have not been able to find a way to move the ball.
Haven't been able to get in the red zone. So now they've got a short field, have to do something with it quickly. As Allen goes back to throw, looks to his left, he's going deep. He had rolled right in his face. That ball, did he come down with it? Yes, he did. First down yardage. As Allen got showed by Roll. And was that 10-11? Was that Borden?
That's Stephen Borden, yes. And on that play, Joe Rome really hit Brian Allen on that play, and it looked like he just threw that ball up in the air. It looked like that could have went the other way for Tom's River East. And right there, Borden just comes into the action, and as that ball is up in the air, he does a very good job of coming down with that ball and keeping possession for Pinelands and getting themselves another first down.
That hit that shades of Jim Burt in the 1980s, hitting Joe Montana in a playoff game at the Meadowlands.
Old school football.
Offsides against Thompson East. Well, there's probably two names you can never tell Joe Montana, right? You can never say Jim Burt and that guy Marshall.
No.
No bueno in the Montana household.
No, absolutely not. No.
So Allen with the completion, 5-yard penalty on the offsides against East. Inside of 8 minutes and rolling. Parkinson up the middle, inside the 20, gets the first down to about the 17-yard line.
And let's see how this drive manages the rest of the way for Pinelands. They get a nice run there by Parkinson, and all game long they just haven't been able to find a way to get the running game going for Pinelands in this game. And there's still time left where Pinelands can possibly come back and tie this game, but it's all going to depend on what they do on this drive right here.
High snap, corralled by Allen. Knocked back, wow. That was Brush who came in on that one. We get a flag in the back of it. Brush lit up that play quickly. Have to check the flag though.
It was a great play by Brush, but now a penalty for Thompson Rees, and I saw Kyle Sandberg was really ticked off there at somebody. It also looked like this is one of those mental type of penalties.
Let's see, the officials, I'm going to tell you, the officials are taking their time. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Pinelands.
Oh.
So, the big hit there by Brush. Pinelands, they have a loose moment there where, they let their emotions get the better of them.
And Sandberg thought for a second that was going to be on them, but, I mean, Pinelands, they just have not been able to get anything going all game long.
And so after what was a great run, you get a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, pushes him way back there. As Allen looks to his right, drops it off, that's Ritchie. As he keeps his feet turning inside the 40-yard line down to about 37. So far, no huddle right now for Pinelands. I'm surprised by that.
You could be surprised by that, but you also got to remember they're down by 2 possessions, and there's not much time left in this game. It's under 7 minutes to go, and Pinelands has to get a score right here in order if they want to come back and try to tie this game. But things are just not looking too good for Pinelands offensively.
Keeper Allen up the middle. He's got space. And he stretches his way, trying to get up towards the 10. He gets down to about the 12. Should be 4th down coming up here for the Wildcats.
And right here, this could definitely be the game.
4th down. Martin at about the 13, so it would be a 4th and 5. We'll go with a 3-wide set. Davis in the game as the tight end. Parkinson in the backfield. Keeper, Allen up the middle. Almost runs into the umpire for his second. Gets the first down inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Wildcats with about 5:30 remaining in this one.
It just seems whenever they've been doing these run design plays for Ryan Allen, it has worked out for Pinelands in this game. But the thing I don't understand is why didn't they do this earlier on in the game?
That's a question I'm sure the Pinelands coaches, when they look at this game film, they may be asking themselves, kicking themselves in the foot. As we get a heavy package for Allen and company. Handoff Parkinson up the middle, trying to dive across. He gets pushed back. Only got it to about the 2.5. A late flag as well thrown by the umpires. So we got a couple late flags. Should be another dead ball penalty. Question is which side? dead ball personal foul against Pinelands. So the second time in a row in this drive where a penalty has been costly for Pinelands.
And Pinelands has just not played a great game all along. Penalties, turnovers, they have been a big difference in this game on why Toms River East has been playing more successfully in this game than Pinelands. And those penalties continue to hurt Pinelands, and it keeps on moving them back and back and back. They were just inside the 5, and now it's backed up inside the 15.
Well, it's even worse.
Inside the 20.
What was worse for Greg is that both of those were dead ball fouls. So not only do you not get the down back, you got the yardage. Now you have to try to play catch up. It'll be second and goal from the 17-yard line. Back to throw Allen. He's looking for that slant again. He converts it inside the 5. That was Frawley again. So he gets back the penalty yardage. We bring up a third and manageable goal from about the 3-yard line. The clock rolling inside of 4:30. Rolling to his right, Allen looking for the corner, and he throws high. He throws high to him. He's trying to get to the tight end number 5 Hall. 4th and goal.
And this has been the struggle tonight for Ryan Allen. Missing his tight end, missing his receivers open all night long. He just has not been in sync. He just has not feel comfortable in that pocket and coming out of that pocket as well. And this is going to be a big 4th down for Pinelands. This is going to be the game right here.
Yeah, they have to have it. They need to score on this drive. Have any chance of coming back. So 4th and goal from the 3. Timeout, Coach Sandberg. He ran all the way down there to take it. So 4:06 remaining and a 14-point Raider lead. What's the play call?
And I think this is a smart timeout here by Kyle Sandberg, because you want to try to set something up defensively where you could keep Pinelands out of the end zone like you have all night long. Toms River East's defense has been great all game long, and their first 3 games, which is including tonight as well, has been great all season. The problem with Toms River East has been those turnovers and basically offensively as well to put up points. And they haven't really in this game as well put up the points. 14 points isn't really a lot. It's 1 point more than they had last year. But the reason why Toms River East is in a good position to win this game has been their defense. They are playing to a shutout right now.
We're talking about the fortunes of week to week changing. How about Southern Regional? They got blanked 42-0 last week against Toms River North. They play another top 10 team in Long Branch this week, the number 7 team at the Shore, and they're up, meaning the Rams are up 7-0 at half.
And boy, would that be a big upset for Southern if they were able to pull that game off.
Yeah, Coach Donahue, very revered around the Shore Conference.
Very good coach.
So coming out, timeout, 4th and goal. Allen rolling to his right. He's got pressure in his face from Ushak. Ball wide and incomplete. Ushak with the pressure. Really no chance there.
Ryan Ushak does a very good job getting pressure, and something that Toms River East has done all night. They've been getting pressure on Ryan Allen, and this is what's made him very uncomfortable tonight, rolling out of that pocket. And this is not good for Toms River East, as now Ryan Ushak is down. This is one of their key players on their team.
He's down, but Toms River East with a big stop. And we've been saying that all night, Greg. It seems like every time Toms River East needs to make a play, especially on defense, they're doing it tonight.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it in their secondary. They've been doing it up front, stopping the run, taking away the big play, keeping everything underneath. Toms River East's defense is the reason why they're going to ride this game to their first win of the season. As long as they can hold on to the football, not turn it over, and keep moving the clock, as there's 4 minutes left in this game.
Tell you what, how about this one? That Donovan Catholic and Manalapan game, running clock, 35-0 Griffins.
I can't believe it. I mean, I actually thought that would be a close game. 35-0 over Manalapan. Two teams that I thought was evenly matched, and I really thought that was going to be a real competitive game between those two teams.
Another penalty backs them up here inside the 5 for the Raiders.
Speaking of Donovan, their program has done a very good job for years bringing up and bringing in young players that they've been able to replace with older players. They've done that for a while now, and they've done that for years. I look at a freshman like Najee Calhoun, has been very good so far for Donovan in his first year as a varsity player, and another kid like Michael Thomas, who's been incredible this year. I was watching that game against Lacey. I was at that game. He made this ridiculous one-handed catch. It was insane.
That was a ridiculous catch, definitely. So now coming out of that, penalty against Pinelands, 1st and 5. Hand off to Phillips. He takes his time, stays in bounds, gets met by Hall. He's past the 10-yard line. The Raiders content to try to run out this clock and try to pick up their first win of the season.
And this is going to be a big win for Toms River East if they're able to hold on. First win within the division, first win in over a calendar year. You go into next week, your senior night against Barnegat. Toms River East going into next week, I think is going to have a lot more confidence, and it's going to get the monkey off their back, most importantly.
No doubt about that. Macy hold on to the football. Pinelands will have to take some timeouts if they want to have a chance. Second and 1. We're going to have back judge to try to get the signal for the play clock. That time swarmed by the Wildcats. That name here, Hall, coming in. We haven't really talked about Mike Hall, but just credit to Toms River East offensive line of being able to block him so effectively.
And I think when you look at the way that Toms River East has been doing offensively, they are running the football very well against a very good run defense and Pinelands. And we said the front seven for Pinelands was going to be the biggest strength in this game. It is the biggest strength of their team. And Toms River East, they've been running the ball effectively by getting that one big run that you had with Amari Phillips in the second half and then capped off by Avery Phillips. If you get those two runs, you kind of look at it and say, was the running game kind of good in this game, or was it okay for Toms River East? The stats might look at it and say, well, those two big runs were the difference in the running game for Toms River East and why they rushed for a lot of yards in this game. But if you take away those two runs, you kind of look at it differently with the way that the running game has been for Toms River East, because stats can always be screwed at the same time, but you can't always take it away. Toms River East has done a very good job. I thought Kyle Sandberg coached a good game in this one. The play calling was great in this game, and I thought Dan Sasala, I would give the MVP to him tonight if I were Toms River East and this whole coaching staff. Dan Sasala called a great game defensively.
No doubt about that. Third down and short. Ball on the ground. And the Raiders fortunate to get back on it. Let's see now, Pinelands trying to argue their case. Here's so they're going to mark it as a 4th down.
And I didn't like that. I didn't like that play call right there.
Risky.
Yeah, it looks like they had Joe Scala behind center there. It looks like they were trying to get cute, but I don't understand why you're trying to get cute when you have a 2-possession lead and all you're trying to do is close out this game by keeping the ball on the ground and moving the clock. Just did not understand that play call right there.
So, East trying to gamble a little bit there. 2:29 remaining, 2 timeouts. Now taken from Pinelands, so they only have 1 left.
And I think one of the reasons why they had Joe Scala as quarterback is it looked like they try to have a little bit of a run design play, but I didn't think it was necessary to try to get cute there.
Not at all. only big update really with the scores here. 41-3, Point Borough over Homedale right now. So these top teams of the Shore really showcasing as we get more into the season, Greg, why they're at the top of the ranking.
Yeah, Point Borough, they showed it a lot last year. They won the state sectional championship for their group. They were able to play at Rutgers. They were able to win that game, and they came in as the number 4 ranked team coming into this week as well. And Point Borough's just been doing it all year. They showed us why last year. They proved it with a young team and with a lot of starters coming back this year. They've done the same thing. They've left off right where they were from last year.
So it will be Bruno to stand in the back of his end zone. Kick it away to Frawley, number 6. He's creeping his way up here. We were hitting on the Pinelands special teams having a little bit of a rough time. Chance to flip the script here. Feels like we're almost on a movie set, waiting for everybody to get the right spot, lighting's right.
I mean, we're waiting for something right here, but
let's just play football.
Yeah, we're just trying to do our job here in the booth. We're standing here, our legs are so numb.
Oh, it's kick blocked, yeah. Oh, it's blocked here. We're trying to do our job here. And what a job there by the special teams of the Pinelands Wildcats as they blocked Bruno's kick and set him up here. Goal to goal.
And if you're Pinelands, we've been talking about their special teams all night long, and they just have not been good. But right there, they come up with a big play, and they're still trying to have some hope in this game of where they can try to make an incredible comeback here with 2:30 left to go. And for Toms River East, I mean, this is not what you wanted here, and now you got to find a way to try to get yourself the ball back and where you can try to close this game out.
Offense set up with 1st and goal inside the 5. Parkinson goes in. That time Phillips stopped him. Phillips came from the edge and wrapped him up before he could barely get back to the line of scrimmage.
And Phillips has had a great game on both sides of the ball. Right there, he comes off the edge, just makes a nice play from the edge and tackles him from behind.
Pinelands going quickly. He almost came in again and got him. Markham short. So the second time in a row, Pinelands with virtually the same play, can't get in. 3rd and goal, 2 minutes and rolling.
Here they're saying a lot in football. It's a game of inches. Pinelands not being able to get in the end zone here.
3rd and goal. This time Hall keeps it himself. I don't think he got there. Let's see. I thought Phillips got him. The line judge marking him just short again. Just short, player is down on the ground for Toms River East. I don't want to speculate on a number, but boy, I hope it's not number 10. Because number 10's been making the plays here tonight.
He has, and he's been doing it all season long so far to start the season.
Golden opportunity after the blocked punt for Pinelands. 3 cracks at the end zone, no dice. As Phillips gets up, a little hobbled, but walking in his own powers, that's good to see. Gets the respect there for Greater Nation, admiring his efforts tonight on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Raider Nation showing their respect. And this is why Raider Nation is just such a good student section, the trash talk is everything, but at the end of the day, they're respectful kids and they're respectful people, and they're always going to show out for their team and their friends playing on that football field.
There we go, 4th and goal for Pinelands. Keeper into the end zone. How about that? So they fake it. Quarterback keeps it, rolls out to his right, flips it over to number 29 there for the attack, Shane Gordon. for a Pinelands touchdown.
And Toms River East was looking for the run there. And just a nice play design there by Pinelands. And Shane Gordon gets himself free, gets himself some separation. And finally, Pinelands gets into the end zone for the first time all game. They've been waiting for that all game long, and they finally cash in right there.
They get the extra point here. Kick blocked. Blocked by Toms River East here, so they get the 6, but they don't get the 7th point. And now things stand with 1:39 remaining in this one, an 8-point lead for the Raiders.
And if I'm Toms River East here, all I'm doing is keeping the ball on the ground. Don't get cute, just keep it on the ground, run the timeout, and you're going to win this game. That's all you have to do.
So with 1:39 remaining, Toms River East closer to 99 seconds away from potentially their first win of 2022. Never know, this could end up sparking a run. We saw Toms River North last year have a rough start. Won the last few in a row. I think it was a 6-game win streak before falling in the state sectional final. So never know.
That's right. We did that Kingsway game last year. And when I started doing games with you at the end of the year last year, we started doing a lot of those Toms River North games, and they were really successful. And that's when they were really peaking at the right time. And when you look at this Toms River East team, you might say they might not have the talent as Toms River North, but they could definitely sneak out some of these games that they have on their schedule, especially coming up when you have to play Barnegat, and then you kind of look at Point Borough, Matawan, and North as your tough games, but late in the season you got Jackson Liberty, and when they have those add-on games towards the end of the season, they're going to be putting up Toms River East against teams that they're going to be able to compete against, and those are always games that they're going to be able to try to steal and try to take one of those games.
So it all comes down to an onside kick. It'll be number 10, Ethan Woods, to kick it.
Probably would expect an onside kick right here.
It's in short, fielded quickly. That's East ball. Who else but the guy who seems to always jump on the ball late in games and at critical moments? That was Joe Scala. May have iced the Raiders' victory.
That's right, and that's why you put your best players out there on special team. Joe Scala, an experienced varsity player, two-year player on varsity, and right there he comes up with the play on special teams to seal it. Just jump on that ball, and just like that, Toms River East gets themselves their first win in 2022 and their first win in over a calendar year. Just not a better feeling for Kyle Sandberg and his teams. How happy you think he is right now?
Oh, certainly, especially, you look at the first week, right, the little bit of a controversy. The game about how that game was won against Toms River South. Last week, the opportunities that were missed in that Manchester game. Tonight, they didn't miss any. They were right down the middle.
That's right, and what we talked about before the game with Toms River East is that they couldn't have those miscues like they had in the first 2 weeks against Toms River South and Manchester. The penalties, the turnovers, the bad snaps. They've had bad snaps in this game, but it didn't cost them in the end. But the turnovers, they had none today. The penalties, they didn't have a lot of them today. They cut down on the penalties, they cut down on the turnovers, and that is why Toms River East was able to go out there and win this game. But their defense was the real deal tonight. They came up with big plays when they needed to. They came up with big stops when they needed to, and that was the difference in this game.
Oh, guys, Cummings with the interception. Avery Phillips, right, came up. Had a lot of plays early, caused that fumble, and really stemmed back the momentum early in that second half.
Casuelio, Brush, the two juniors, one linebacker, one corner. Colin Casuelio getting his first start of the season as a corner. Comes up big today, had a great game defensively, and even made a catch as well, offensively as well. This was just a great win for Toms River East. You can't be more happy for this program than you are right now. They've went through a lot of things for the last couple of years, but to get a win like tonight, you you can't be more happy than what you are with Toms River East tonight.
No doubt about it. So the clock reads triple zeros here at Dvorak Field. And as you hear the East Fight song play, victoriously for the first time in 371 calendar days, it's the Raiders winning 14-6.
That's right. And Toms River East was great on the defensive side of the ball today, doing it in the secondary, stopping the run at an effective level, which was going to be Pinelands' key to move the ball offensively, because if they were able to run the ball effectively, it was going to open up the playbook for Pinelands. They took away the running game. Their defense, their secondary was insane in this game. They kept everything underneath. Ryan Allen was looking for the deep ball most of the game. They took that away. The MVP, like I said, about 10-15 minutes ago, doing the stream, doing the game, Dan Sasala is my MVP tonight for this Toms River East team.
Absolutely. You see the Raiders and Raider Nation. Reminiscent of Toms River South in week 1, they run on the field, all decked out in neon.
That's right. Can't be more happy for these fans. They've been going through a lot with their team, but just like tonight, they get a good win, and now hopefully you can build off this win, gain some confidence going into next week against Barnegat.
Yeah, huge victory for Coach Sandberg and his team as they will continue to celebrate here. See that big Raider Nation flag in the middle?
Yeah, I see it. Raider Nation flag. They definitely come out and they show out, and they're always loyal to their team no matter what. Just a great win for Toms River East, and something for these fans to look forward to tonight.
Absolutely, and you look on the other side, Coach Tierney, a lot to take away from this game. A lot to take away. They're 1-2 on the season, but they played pretty good football these first 3 games.
They had the nice win in week 1 against Point Beach where they won, and then last week the game against Barnegat where they lost by 1 point. An ugly game for Pinelands, an ugly game for them once again tonight. They just really couldn't get on the same page offensively in this game. Just couldn't be able to move the ball by running the football. Ryan Allen just missed a lot of throws in this game. Did not look like the quarterback that we know that he is. And for Pinelands, they're going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have a good practice next week going into the next game next week.
Absolutely. You're looking at some other games. Rumson leading Wall 30-12 at the half. Middletown North up 31-3 over Lacey. Still no scores from the South or the North games. But right now, just a lot of good celebrations here from Dvorak Field for these Raiders fans. As the Raiders get their first win of the season, they're 1-2 on the season now. 1-1, though, leveled it up here in the Short Conference Liberty Division. Pinelands dropping a 1-2, 0-2 in Liberty. Do you think maybe this game gives East the spark? Maybe not, to be the teams like Point Borough, Toms River North again, uphill battle, but within the Liberty Division.
That absolutely. In the Liberty Division, yes, because those teams they're going to be able to compete against. Madawan is the one game where I look at Toms River East, and that's going to be a really tough game for them. Going on the road, afternoon game, you have to get up real early, get on the bus. It's a long ride to Madawan. Madawan's real far away from Toms River East. So that's a game they're going to have to look forward to. But a good win like tonight for Toms River East can really set the tone. You got next week against Barnegat. This could be a really tough competitive division near the end of the season. You kind of look at those games like Point Borough and North. You say those games really don't matter in terms of what East does within the division because they look at the division record. But those games are always going to matter in terms of power points. And if Toms River East wants to get themselves in a playoff spot by the end of the year, but this is definitely a good win for Toms River East. Something to build off from, something to look forward to. And Kyle Sandberg cannot be more happy with his guys than he is right now. They desperately needed this win tonight.
No doubt about it. Fantastic coaching job, as we've said. As the players run back across the field, a little more celebration. We're going to turn in here on TR Schools TV. Again, your final score from Vincent J. Dvorak Field. Toms River East victorious 14-6 over the visiting Pinelands Wildcats. For our producer Chip Phillips, my broadcast partner Greg Mazzo, and our entire crew here at TR Schools TV, I'm Casey Kinnerkowski saying so long. We'll be back with Week 4 action next week here on TR Schools TV, so make sure to watch for that.